logic plays only a very small part in our decision-making processes. You may think you are acting on common sense, but in most cases you are not. Whether buying an automobile or deciding to have your hair cut, emotion usually blinds you to logic. You do not buy a car to get from A to B as quickly and as cheaply as possible. You do not get your hair cut simply to shorten it. A great many emotional factors enter into your reasons for doing things. This mechanism has ensured our survival in a hostile world over the last million years or so. It was not designed to help you in trading the stock market.
Hi folks, how are you? Alright, hope you're doing well today. Let's get to this video. So I want to talk about a couple of things from the last video. First of all, I want to say thanks a lot for everyone who commented on the previous video. A lot of beautiful comments and I really enjoyed reading them. Very insightful from a lot of you. If you didn't read the comments, go ahead and read them. There's a lot of people who left interesting comments. Really cool to see that some people relate to that kind of stuff a lot. And we're going to keep doing it as long as we're in the flow, guys. So in the last video, I talked a lot about the subconscious mind and how your subconscious mind is acting basically in the background of you and your decision-making process. So whatever you actively do, you're essentially teaching your subconscious mind your own behavior patterns. I gave the example of entering a trade without a stop in right away versus entering a trade always with a stop in right away. If there is any kind of inconsistency in that process, you're opening the door for danger because your subconscious mind is okay with the fact that you're being inconsistent with your process. You're essentially teaching yourself, you're reinforcing bad behavior. Very bad. And the thing is that you can easily get away with that kind of behavior. It's not the kind of thing that's going to make you go broke right away, but it will make you go broke eventually when you learn the hard way. All right, let's move on to a slightly different topic here, also relating to your subconscious. I want to talk about tools and analysis. So the greatest example I can give is the trader who learns a lot about analysis and having access to order flow analytics that pretty much give you an edge in the markets because you can see who's buying and who's selling and how big they are and whatnot, right? So that right there is an edge. But the thing is, there's a danger in this. There's a danger in having these tools at first, because when you first get into something, you're learning about tools and the fact that you have these tools and that they pose you an advantage. So the story you sold yourself from the beginning was that if you have these tools, they're going to help you make money and they're going to help you be successful. So you've already implanted that story into you from the start. It only makes sense that when you're in a losing trade, you don't know what to think anymore because you already taught your subconscious mind that these tools are giving you an advantage, therefore you should have an edge, therefore you should be making money, but you're in this losing trade. So there's a conflicting thing there that happens, and it's largely because of the story that you sold yourself from the beginning, saying that because you have these tools, because you have a good analysis, because you bought this special trading system, that you are guaranteed to make money, and that if you are in a losing trade, then for sure it's a one-off event, for sure it's going to come back, and for sure you're going to make money, right? Because you know what's going to happen next. So the whole concept of having all these tools, all it's about is holding that awareness. So I'm talking about this because people need to hear this. You need to know that no matter how good you are at understanding technical indicators, or no matter how good you are at reading order flow, we're still in a probability environment and you do not know what is going to happen next. So at no moment should you ever be in this emotional battle where one part of you thinks that it knows what's going to happen next and the other part of you is feeling like crap because you're in a red trade, right? This is part of the mind games that you play with yourself on a regular basis. So it all comes down to how you sell yourself these ideas. You have a plan. To create this plan, you've essentially had to say words. And when you said those words, you heard them and your inside being, subconscious mind, heard it as well. Therefore, you implanted those thoughts and they are now in you. So going forward, it comes down to holding the awareness of these things that you said and the fact that they are just stories or plans that you created, and they should not be allowed to take control of your decision-making process. Any new trader who gets into trading is going to learn about technical indicators. They're going to learn about, how do I make a trade? Oh, do I just buy when the moving average crosses? Do I just buy when I see the buyers show up on the tape? Do I just sell when I see that there's no one buying? Every time you have a trading idea, you're telling yourself a story about that trading idea and about why it works. But the thing is, you forget to put the cherry on top every time. And the cherry on top of everything relating to technical analysis is that you're in a probability environment and you don't know what's going to happen next. But everything that you learned just now is all trying to convince you that you do know what is going to happen next. You don't. Every time you approach the market, your job is to manage risk because you do not know what is going to happen next. Not even the professionals know what is going to happen next. They might have a better idea because they know when they're putting on the buy program to buy those basket stocks all at once. But still, if Goldman is coming in to buy the dip right here, they don't know because Jerome might be waiting at the top of the rally just to sell it back to them. There's always a bigger fish. So what I'm trying to say is that even the big players don't necessarily know what's going to happen next. They probably know a little bit more than you. And in this game, a little goes a long way. It's a hard one, right? Because everything you learn about markets, everything you learn about trading and technical analysis, if you don't carry the awareness, all of those things are adding to your subconscious mind's belief that you potentially know what is going to happen next. So if at any moment you think you know what's going to happen next, you've lost it, unfortunately. All right, guys, so this guy right here, Dan from the Chart Guys, probably one of the guys I look up to the most in terms of just the overall energy he carries about trading. He is the most carefree, easygoing dude in his videos. And honestly, I strive to be like that. I don't strive to be a stressed out trader who feels like crap every time you have a losing day. I want to be able to carry some form of a Zen vibe about the world and about trading, right? Because trading doesn't have anything to do with your life around you. It's just numbers in cyberspace. That's the way you have to think about it. So I just want to say shout out to the Chart Guys. I've always watched their channel and I really appreciate Dan's Trader Insight videos. Beautiful stuff, by the way. Moving on, let's talk about physical pain or mental pain in general, okay? The whole thing that I talked about earlier about the illusion that you create for yourself, once you end up in those situations, like the one I ended up in on Wednesday or something, you essentially have caused yourself a great deal of pain. There's a part of you that's absorbing the pain, that's not necessarily allowing you to feel the pain. That's your ego protecting you. And then there's the other part of you deep down that's really crying out and screaming and wants to punch a hole through the wall when you have those really bad trades. And that's the kind of feeling that I'm going after here. When you reach a point in your trading where you feel like you want to punch a hole in the wall, okay, that's a really interesting place right there. I want to learn about that place a little bit more. I think it largely has to do with imbalance. So trading in the morning is fine, but as soon as you trade through the lunchtime and through the afternoon and you're over trading, you essentially are creating an imbalance in yourself, in your day, right? So I noticed I feel much better overall in the day when I trade the morning and then I get off and that's it. As opposed to trade the morning, take a break in the afternoon, then come back and trade again in the afternoon. Or the worst case scenario, which would be trade in the morning, get stuck in a dumb trade, and then hold on to a trade all day and feel like crap because why did I do that, right? There's a pain aspect involved with it, right? And you've essentially caused yourself pain by doing these things. I'm just reminiscing about it because humans were really good at coming up with ways to justify our experiences. So when something bad happened, you're really quick to say, oh, that was the cause of it. For sure, that was the reason why that happened. I'm never going to do that again, and then everything's going to be fine going forward. That happens so much, and it's not that easy. You just have to know that it's really not that easy. Sometimes you just need to sit in your own sorrow for many, many hours and many, many days to figure out what the heck went wrong and what the heck you need to do going forward. You almost need to embrace that pain. Not in a way that you want to feel it, but you need to embrace it on a level where you know what caused it on a deep level. You're carrying that awareness going forward, and you're going to adapt the process in a way that prevents further occurrences of this kind of feeling, right? When you feel physical pain, because trading can be stressful, let's be honest. If you feel physical pain at all, I think that there's a problem there, and that requires you to do some reminiscing on your own behalf of your process and what you can do to potentially lessen that pain going forward. So trading needs to be a mechanical process, but humans are not good at being mechanical. So that poses a big problem. And I guess that would depend from person to person. So to tie up this video in a little bit of a conclusion, tools and analysis, you need to carry the awareness that they are simply tools and analysis, and you do not know what is going to happen next. They only contribute to your edge in this probability environment because you do not know what is going to happen next. And you know that if you do not manage your risk every single time the same exact way, you're opening up that doorway of discretionary behavior, that sort of gray zone that, oh, I'm going to put in a stop 30 seconds after, and then I'm going to put in a stop 45 seconds after. And then that whole gray zone, you don't want to get there. You want to be mechanical every single time. All right, next thing would be the physical pain. It just comes down to carrying forward that awareness of the pain that you felt either on a physical or on a mental level, and sitting in it, like being in it, bathing in your own sorrow, to say, to the point where you are able to start to make some fine adjustments to your process so that you can avoid similar things from happening in the future. For me, it's just being way more mechanical. Okay, so the last thing I wrote there is, what are you concerned with? You're concerned with the level, aka the price that you're trading. You're concerned with managing your risk consistently, and you're concerned with your entry trigger, which tells you when to enter the market because the probability is now favorable. Removing discretionary behavior is something like always having an attached stop to every order. So if I press a hotkey, I'm in the trade long and I have an attached stop. That's all I need to worry about. Once I'm in profit, then I can worry about taking profit. But when it comes to managing your risk, there cannot be any hesitation whatsoever in that regard, which is why as a day trader, as a scalper, your risk needs to be pre-managed before you enter the trade. Because if you do not manage your risk as soon as you enter the trade, you're opening up that doorway of discretionary behavior, that gray zone that I just talked about, and you do not want to enter that gray zone, because if one day you're feeling kind of down or kind of off, you're posing yourself a great risk that you mess up, go against that risk management principle that you follow, and then you end up in a bad situation. All right, guys, so I'm going to cut it there for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.